Hey guys, Gale Force Online here to bring you another one of my trash builds. So this is the part 3 of the Jack of all trades sorcerer. So this is the tanking setup. Now I'll show you guys the changes that I've made to my inventory. So swap my monster helm and shoulders out for 1 piece bonuses that increases my armor. Swapped my Inferno staff to the Frost staff. Has a defending trait on it which increases my resistances as well, but it still applies the 5 effect bonus of extra weapon and spell damage. Alright, so take a look at the skill setup. So on the front bar, which is what I will be using to tank, I start with Inner Beast, which is a stamina taunt from the Undaunted skill line, and it's ranged. So it taunts an enemy for 15 seconds. The enemy also takes 4% extra damage from my attacks. Also grants a synergy for 50% of the times, which it deals magic damage if an ally activates them, and some damage over time there as well. Boundless Storm, so this drops an AoE around me that deals 800 shock damage every 1 second for 23 seconds. And also increases my resistances by 5 to 80. Does give me Major Expedition for a short time, but don't really use it for that skill. Mostly I use it for the increase in my resistances. Then Spiked Bone Shield is a stamina shield from the Undaunted skill line. Gives me a small damage shield there for 6 seconds. Now this skill is based on my max health. Because my max health is not as big on this character, the damage shield that it produces is not quite as strong as would be on traditional tanks. Also applies to synergy, so once activated, all my allies gain a damage shield as well for 34% of their max health. So if you have somebody that's really good on activating their synergies, they can definitely grant those damage shields and make the group a lot more durable. Then sitting with Empowered Ward, which is a Magicka skill from the class skill lines. Grants me a damage shield of 8k, and also grants a damage shield for my pet as well. So since I'm using my pet as my main heal, them having a damage shield as well works well, because I don't have to constantly resummon my pet in order to heal myself. Also increases my Magicka recovery by 10%, which is a nice bonus to have. And because I'm a sorcerer, there always has to be a pet. I use the Twilight Matriarch again. So it does some initial shock damage there, and also grants me healing for myself and up to 2 targets for 8k. So this is a very nice skill to use if I'm running into trouble, starting to get low on health, and the healer is not quite up to scratch in healing in time. So definitely use this skill to get my health back where it needs to be. I tend to use this skill a lot because my durability as the tank on this build is not as much as it would be on a traditional tank. So this will definitely keep me in the fight for longer, so it's a good skill to have there. Then ultimate is Reviving Barrier, grants a damage shield to myself and all allies around me for 38k for 30 seconds. And also does some healing for 15k over 15 seconds. So this is a very nice skill to use if you run into trouble, or if your group is running into trouble, you're getting close to wiping. Activating this skill will grant everybody that damage shield and possibly push you through to complete the content. Now sitting on the back bar, so usually I would activate my taunt on the front bar, and if I'm running into trouble, stay on the front bar because it has a lot more resistances. If I swap out now, you can see my resistances sitting at about 27k, and my resistances on the back bar is sitting at 23k. So using the front bar to taunt and activating that buff pushes it up to the 33k limit. Anyway, so as I was saying, on the back bar, I use damage over time skills here. So if I have a chance, I can swap over to my back bar, activate these skills, and then swap back to it every 15 seconds just to reactivate them and increase the total output from the group. So the first one I use is Liquid Lightning from the class skills. So deals 1300 shock damage every 1 second for 14 seconds, and also has a synergy there that once activated deals 10k shock damage to the enemies around. The second one I use is Consuming Trap with a duration of 10 seconds. This is actually the shortest duration skill on the back bar that I use. So 12k magic damage over 10 seconds, really nice to have there, and just activate once every 10 seconds. The perk of this skill as well is if the enemy dies, I heal and restore some resources on top of that as well. Then Blockade of Storms from the Destruction Staff skill line. So on the back bar I use a Lightning Staff. So this one deals 1200 shock damage every 1 second for the full 14 seconds, and also enemies hit by this is set off balance for 7 seconds. So if the enemy is off balance, the damage they take is actually increased thanks to the champion point system. So definitely a skill that most tanks in vet trials would run to try and get that off balance up as long as possible. This one does it here with just some extra damage on top of that. So then Degeneration, which deals 13k magic damage over 12 seconds, and also grants me Major Sorcery, increasing my spell damage by 20 seconds. So another 12-second duration skill, so a long damage over time effect that persists, and also activating this skill as soon as I swap over to the back bar to get that Major Sorcery and increase my spell damage there. Then I have the Twilight Matriarch on the back bar there as well, just to make sure when I'm swapping bars I don't accidentally kill her. And the ultimate I use is the Summon Charged Atronach. So on impact it deals 10k shock damage and also deals some area of effect damage there as well. But it also stuns the enemies on impact, so it's a very nice skill to have if there's a lot of enemies around. You can stun them and clear them out before they start to damage your allies. Also, when the Atronach is summoned, a synergy activates, and if an ally activates a synergy, they get Major Berserk for 25% extra damage for 8 seconds, which is really nice in a support skill type of way. So sitting on the front bar, I would taunt the enemy, have my resistances up, and shields if possible, and swapping over to the back bar where I can, activate my AoE, damage over time skills, and then back to the front bar to taunt the enemy and keep him occupied. And then you wait for that 14 seconds, activate the skills again, making sure that your taunt stays on. Alright, thanks for listening guys. If you have any ideas for builds that I need to do in the future, let me know in the comments down below. If you like the content I'm putting out, hit that like and subscribe. Be safe and take care. Bye.